Hey people, what is going on? I am the Broken Puppet, and as usual, got a fun video for today. We're going to be doing a really cool traditional dragon head. So I'm going to start off with a nice big circle. This is going to be like the base of the head. And I'm going to do a little circle just next to it. It's kind of build up from where the nose is. Just a heads up, this video is sponsored by tattoospace.com. I've got some really good brush sets on there for Procreate, including my heads and how-tos. It's got like 30 tutorials and 30 head brushes, so it's a really cool one. Make sure you check it out. But for now, people, let's carry on. So you want to mark a little bit through the middle of that circle. It's going to mark out where we're going to put these two eyeballs. It's kind of sort of midsection, and the little curve at the back is going to be where the mouth is going to drop down. Two little lines above it are going to mark out where the eyebrows are going to be. Because you want some nice menacing eyebrows. That's step 4. It's going to be about 12 steps in this one. And we're going to curve around the edge, just kind of get a bit of the back of the mouth. And making this little block at the bottom is going to make the inside mouth. And these big circles just around the top of the nose and around the jaw is basically where his beard's going to be and his moustache. It's the key part of his dragon. You can't have a dragon without the moustache and the beard. Around the back here, again, it's going to be back of the beard. So those big circles around there, just marking it out. And these two big finger shapes at the back are the two horns. Again, really key feature. You have to have those. You can't have a dragon without the two horns. So we're going to mark it out now. So you're going to go to the nose. You're going to make this little spiral for the nose. Because these classic old traditional dragons, they've got really kind of creative noses. They're not realistic. They're just fun and decorative. So you want a nice kind of spiral. And it's going to loop back towards the eyes. And once you've got that done, we're going to go to the beard. Now the beard is going to be like a really simple kind of zigzag, curving from there, curving around. It's going to be the same principle for the bottom part of the beard and the back of the jaw as well, and the eyebrows. Now come back here towards the back part here, just by the tooth. We're going to do a nice big tooth. And it's going to help us build off the bottom part of the mouth. Because you want a kind of bottom lip. It's going to help you position the teeth and stuff. And once you've got that, you can kind of create that sort of upper part of the lip now. Just kind of basing it around that eye sort of shape. Don't go too close. Leave it kind of like a ball shape like underneath the eye, so you kind of got that positioning. At the bottom lip there, you can add two teeth. Just two like simple triangles, really simple. You don't want to go too crazy with details. It's really classic trad style, so you want to keep it fairly simple. So again, those zigzag formations, you want to give a slight bend to it. You can keep it straight if you want, but I just find a bend on the zigzag is just much nicer. And at the back here, we're going to flick these little lines. And these little lines are basically going to be hair, it's going to flick towards the back. So don't go too detailed, just simple, dead straight lines. And just here, we're going to do this kind of scaly pattern. And this is going to be on the forehead. And it's going to go all the way back towards where those horns are. It's a really nice way of decorating. You don't have to do that. You could just do a little line down the center if you want. But the scale pattern at the top is just a really nice way of doing it. So now we're on to the final step of sort of sketching this part out. So we're going to bring in these whiskers. Now the whiskers are basically two nice curvy lines coming back and a little bit thicker. And I'm going to grab my Sharpie here. I'm just going to go over everything with a Sharpie now. I'm going to make everything nice and clear so you can see everything nice and clear. Pretty much. So yeah, nice clean lines. Everything I'm using is basic simple tools. So I've got a Sharpie, pencil. I'm going to use some winsor brush markers. That's probably the most fancy thing, but you can use anything to colour in with. So you can see we're just going over all the zigzag kind of pattern and the back of the teeth. Just everything we just kind of sketched out there. If you need to, just pause, rewind. If you need to sort of catch on a step. It's kind of a little faster than usual. It's just kind of giving all the information you kind of need in a short video to kind of see how it does. If you guys prefer this, make sure you let me know. If this isn't your kind of preference, you prefer me old way of doing it, just let me know. I can do the full lengths as well. But yeah, I just thought I'd try something out and just see what you guys think. So do let me know in the comments below. And yeah, if you're new to my channel, make sure you do subscribe. And yeah, click the little bell icon to get notified when I put more videos. I've got quite a few plans when I get time. I do run a tattoo shop at the same time as well, so I've got a lot of stuff going on, as well as the tattoo space Procreate brush sets. If you don't know what that is, it's basically a digital brush set. You can download it. It's got additional tutorials. It's just extra resources for you guys to create with, to play around with. You got kind of heads and how-tos, animal ones, and I've got this kind of lady head creator I just brought out. So yeah, it is fun. And once you got that done, you just want to rub it all out. And you can see here this little promo. This is the heads and how-tos from Tattoo Space. You can see the animals, and you can get a little example of the tutorials on here, like the 12 stages. It's really good. If you've got an iPad Pro, you've got Procreate, it's brilliant. Definitely recommend checking it out. But for now, people, we're going to go to colour now. So we've got everything sketched out there. I'm going to be using the winsor brush markers, like I said. I'm going to be shading it in with the blacks to begin with. These are the warm shades. It doesn't really matter. You can use the cold ones, pencils, whatever you guys want to use. But yeah, the warm shades. So if you got them, the numbers on there like WG1 to WG5. It's basically like from light to dark. So you imagine like with pencils, it'd be like, a H to like a 5B kind of thing. So putting a little black around the lips, and you can use like a side to side motion. You don't want to kind of flick out like you would like a pencil or something. You you want to go nice side to side, the same way you do with watercolor paints. So you're going to start off with your black, and you're going to go down through the darkest shades and just build a light each time around it. It's going to really help you get a nice blend out. It's going to make it so it's much more simple, and you get like a really nice, easy, clean finish. And I love using markers; they're my favorite tool to use. As you probably know, if you're filming my channel, you've seen me use these a million times. So I'm going to go to the back of the head here with those little lines where the back of the hair, and I'm going to put a nice bold bit of black right across. And you can see I'm using like a side motion here. It's all like a nice clean line. And then from there, again, just using those grey shades from the dark ones, just going like the dark, medium to light, and just fading out. It's also important to remember that with markers, they will appear darker initially when you first put them on, because the paper will be a bit wet, because these are alcohol based. As they dry, they go a lot lighter, so don't worry if it kind of feels like it's a little bit dark for your liking. Give it a chance to dry, and you might find it's a bit lighter than you think. Make sure you use a good quality paper as well. This is Bristol board. Most papers will generally be okay. You just don't want to use like typical printer paper. It's really crap stuff, to be honest. I wouldn't really recommend that on anything. So yeah, I'm basically building up the blacks kind of around the inside edges. Anytime there's like a little corner, I'm kind of putting a little bit of black, and I'm just kind of fading out from around there. A little bit around the nose. Anytime I want something to kind of appear in front, I kind of use it. And you want to use it fairly short. You kind of bring the black out, and when you kind of get to the edge of the black, you want to kind of fade out really quickly. It's really classic of traditional kind of style. You don't want a long fade. It's a very quick kind of fade with traditional kind of style. Just be aware, I have accidentally made a mistake, as you can see there. Just pretend that didn't happen. I accidentally dropped my marker, and yeah, it fell on the paper. I was kind of gutted, but I was like, yeah, I kind of like how the drawing's going, so I just kind of carried with it. Just pretend that isn't there, people. It never happened. So yeah, just keep going. I'm going to sort of blacken the scales here now. You ain't got to black these in. You could use any other colours you want. It's just a nice kind of repeated pattern. It's kind of bold, black. I've said it a million times before with these kind of designs. Black is really, really important, especially for traditional kind of style and like Japanese. Black really is your friend. The more you put in there, the better it looks. Like if you're going too light with shades, like if you're using say pencils and you're going really light, it's just not going to feel traditional. Don't be afraid to go dark with this. Yeah. I mean, once you get used to it, you realize it's the best decision you can make when doing traditional kind of tattoos and drawings. So that's pretty much most of the black, I think, in there now. Just trying to remember if I put any more black in there. I don't think I do. Yeah, just a little bit just in the mouth. Yeah, sorry. I've got a little bit just there. So yeah, just kind of fade down there. I'm not going to put on the tongue. I want a little kind of dynamic with the colours on the tongue here. So it's going to be reds, but I'm going to do like a little white highlight around the tongue that you're going to see and stuff. So I'm going to start with the red. This is berry red. I'm going to put a little bit behind the eye, a little bit inside the mouth. And when I put the tongue, you're going to see I'm going to do that little white highlight. It's basically a way of putting two colours next to each other, but appearing different. So the inside mouth is bold to the edge, and this has got that white highlight. So it just makes it feel a little bit different from the colour next to it. Because if it's the same colour next to it, it just kind of feels a bit of a blur. So a little bit in the ear. And just here now, I'm going to come in with a fire brick. It's like a nice kind of sort of like caramelly brown kind of tone. I'm going to put that around the beard, and I'm going to come in here. This is the cinnamon tone. And it's just like another sort of like, downgrade of it. So you imagine like, got the fire brick, the cinnamon to like the yellow, the amber here. It's just three kind of shades, that kind of go like, sort of brown to caramel to yellow. It just makes it easy to blend. With these are brush markers. Make sure you use brush markers. You don't use like pro markers. Pro markers got a really hard tip and they're really annoying to work with. I do not recommend them for anything other than like bold coloring. But the Winsor Newton brush markers or Copics or chameleon pens, anything that's got the word brush in it, you get a much better tip, and the tip you can use to blend with. You can't do that really with a pro marker. I mean, you can if you're like really skilled with it, but yeah, it's not easy. Yeah, brush markers are a million times easier. So you see, I'm just building this kind of sort of like brown tone with a fire brick around the outside the edge of the moustache and beard. And then again, just with that amber tone and the cinnamon one, just to kind of fade it out. It just gets like a nice bit of shadow. And you want to kind of go over the edge a couple of times. You want to cause like a tiny bit of bleed, just not too much, enough to kind of blend the colours. If you sort of pass over it sort of 2-3 times, you'll notice it kind of blends. Give it a chance to sort of like sink in there properly, because it will carry on working for a few seconds after you do it. So if you're kind of sort of trying to brush over the top until you get the colour you want, you'll probably find it's going to bleed too much by the time you finish. So I'm just coming up here with a fire brick, and I'm going to use it into the cinnamon, but I'm not going to use the yellow for this because I want the horns to appear more brown than the beard. I don't want it to be the same kind of colour. By eliminating that amber, it just feels like very different colours. Even though I'm using two of the same colours, it's going to feel very different. And so yeah, I really like how it's kind of building up now. It's coming together really quite nicely. So I'm coming with the turquoise and the bright blue. I'm going to start with the turquoise and use the blue to kind of blend out. The blue is really light, so it really helps to kind of fade to next to nothing pretty much. And I'm just kind of working this over all the black shades I've done. You know, I don't want to put it in there too bold. I mean, you can if you want, but I prefer to just kind of go over the grey areas. You're pretty much doing the exact same thing with these, what you've done over the greys and your blacks. So just bring that around there, and it just kind of helps break it up. You know, it's a very high contrast color compared to the yellow and the red. It's why I use this. You could use something like green as well. I wouldn't really recommend something. I mean, you could use purple if you want, but it's very much on the kind of same color spectrum, so I wouldn't really recommend that. But this color combination is just perfect. You can't go wrong with this, so I highly recommend this. And like I said, if you haven't got markers, you know, you can use pencils, you know, paints, whatever you guys want. Every tool is just as good as each other depending on how you use it. You know, yeah, I highly recommend using Prismacolor pencils. They're really good. But yeah, this is pretty much the face done now. I'm going to do like the whiskers. I'm not going to colour in the eye. I want the eye to be nice and white. And a little kind of white sparkle in the eye, so I'm going to leave that bit. You could put a little bit brown in the teeth if you want. You know, there's other ways of doing it, you know. But I just really like this kind of one. It's really simple, to the point. You know, make sure you take your time with this. Don't feel like you have to go to speed, because this has been sped up a little bit. So pause, rewind, go as slow as you want. You know, but there we go, people. That is how you draw a classic traditional dragon head. You know, I've got many more. You know, let me know what you want to see below. You know, I'm always happy to draw more of these sort of things and these other sort of tip videos. Make sure you check out tattoospace.com. You know, but for now, people, I'm Deep Broken Puppet. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you give the video a like as well. You know, it's very much appreciated. But for now, people, I'm the Broken Puppet, and I'll see you next time. Peace.